In today's video, I will be sharing with you one of my favorite self-regulation method, which can be very fun to do. And this method is actually what I call the 3-cup method. So it has been inspired by the 2-cup method, which is very famous and popular in the law of attraction manifestation community, but the way that we're going to approach it is much more towards self-regulation, um, self stress management, any of these things that can help us to know how we can practice emotional regulation or a containment of our distress. And from my experience, why it's also my favorite, because I've been finding this to be very useful, and I've got very good feedback from a lot of my clients who have used them. And most of them, they are teachers, they are also parents, because this is something that you can adapt with the younger audience in order to practice more of, let's say, how we can practice release of stress rather than bottling up. So the main idea today is how we can practice unbottling so many bottled feelings, bottled energy, bottled distress that we may not realize is just stacking up more and more in our body, that then at some point we reach our tipping point. Okay, so essentially it's going to be based upon how you want to use that method. If that is something that you want to do it on a daily basis or every 2 days or on a weekly basis, it's very much dependent on, based upon where are you at when it comes to regulation. Okay, so essentially, what's the main aim behind the method of today? So it's going to be 4-step, and I'm going to add that there is a tip that you can add to that 4-step. So if you keep on watching till the end of the video, I will be guiding you through that. So the main aim of doing the 3-cup method is going to be to learn how to externalize everything, or a heaviness, an emotion, a state that we've always been keeping inside and we just bottling up very much. And then it's about how we can practice more of this downshift, shifting into a more regulated state, a manageable state of body arousal based upon, let's say, how we were feeling inside, and then we can bring a sense of adaptation as we're shifting into a more relaxed state or a more manageable state through this method. Okay, so how are we going to go about that? So the material that you will actually need is a bottle, all right, which I'll explain it to you. First is to get yourself a bottle, but it needs to be empty. Okay, it needs to be empty. And then what you will also need will be cups, and it's gonna be 3 cups. So then I will be showing you 1 cup at a time, and then you will know if you're very peculiar about choosing your cup and assigning meaning to them, then this will guide you accordingly. So the first thing is about you getting a bottle, okay, and it's going to be an empty bottle. So I've chosen a glass bottle, all right, and I will tell you about it later. But if you don't have it, don't worry, you can just get a simple plastic bottle or anything that you've got. Okay, so essentially the bottle is going to represent your body. Okay, bottling up here. Why use the body to bottle up where you can actually just unbottle it, essentially? Okay, so this is where, when it comes to the level of water, the water is going to represent how much of suppressed stress, anything that has been the distress that has been in your body. So whenever you're doing this exercise, it's up to you to see how much you really want to fill this up. Okay, so that's why when you're looking at it, it's what am I bottling now? Okay, so that's very much the first thing. Okay, and when you do that, you take a moment to really name, what is it? Is it anxiety? Is it frustration? Is it fear? Is it anger? What is it that I'm bottling? And then the water it might be about indicating how full are you with respect to that one emotion that you've decided to name today. Okay, and as you are naming it, then this is where you're going to fill the bottle with the water in order to match the intensity, how much it's really into your body. Okay, now what's the logic behind it? It's what is it that we're doing is almost when we take a moment to really acknowledge what is really there, we are taking a moment to take a step back and have like a bird's view with respect to that emotion that we're feeling. Because sometimes when we are so much into that state, we may identify ourselves with that emotion. For example, we may see ourselves saying that I am anxious. But when you take a moment to just externalize and remove that anxiety and you pour it in there, this is where you take a moment to notice what is it that you have been feeling into the moment. Okay, so when you're doing that, you are doing this sense of externalization, and you're almost like diffusing that intensity that you've been embodying for so long. Okay, so what you do, you just shift from the I am anxious to I am noticing anxiety, which actually increases a sense of psychological flexibility that's in there. Okay, so the emotion that goes into the bottle, then what are we actually going to do with it when you've named it? Now you are going to get the first cup or the first mug. All right, this mug, so my mug, it's the Happy Little Monster, okay, Pixar movies, right? This is the mug that I have chosen for me. Anytime that I really want to do this little exercise, this is my mug. And I like the green color because it reminds me of compassion as well. So it's important for us to see that this container is going to be your safe space in which you are going to pour that anxiety, and your container in here is going to hold that for you. Okay, so what's happening, you're actually allowing yourself to shift and move it. Okay, just there. All right, now the thing is that when the emotion, it goes into the bottle and then it's shifting and it's going into the mug that becomes your container, it's going to create some kind of indirect subliminal messages that's just gonna get engaged in your subconscious. That's gonna be, this anxiety is moving out of my body and it's moving to this container. So already when you will be doing that, you can even do this exercise with breath work. Okay, even when you're filling up the bottle, you can just take a moment first, ground yourself, take 3 mindful breaths, just take a few breaths, and then allow yourself to name what is it that I've been bottling up for so long. And then when you just do that, you're going to see it's just gonna, your attention is just gonna go into that. Something is gonna shift. Whether you can mention about it or not, something is gonna shift in you. Maybe it's a sense of relief. Maybe it's a tension that's easing through just by this gesture of shifting that anxiety in this container. Okay, so that's very much the idea behind this part. All right, so now what is it that we do with this? Okay, so this is where you shall decide whether you want to, so definitely you're not gonna drink from it. Okay, it's how are you going to release of it. Okay, now sometime very much depending upon what is the nature or the intensity of that emotion. Sorry about the noise, there's a lot of planes around here. So it's always going to depend about the intensity of what is it that's being held in that cup. Okay, if it's anxiety, if it's fatigue, you can actually maybe want to just go outside, and you can even just pour it into the earth, or really much pour it into the soil, because this is the recycling capacity of earth. If you're someone who very much like this sense of, you're recycling your emotion, it's almost as if the same when we recycle ourselves with plants. Maybe that can be another video, I'll tell you about it, how to do that. Sorry, how to do that. So you can actually do it with the plants, where you are deciding to release of it. If you think that was very, very heavy, okay, like acidic, I don't know, something, maybe recovering from a very bitter feeling, rage, uh, something like you don't want to just leave that, put that into the plants, okay, something very, very bitter, could be anything, then I would ask you to choose the sink, maybe. Okay, you choose the sink, you just see yourself just releasing of that water, okay, and then you just open the tap, and then you just let it go. Okay, so what you just did, it's a sense of a ritual. It's like a ritualized disposal that actually takes place, and it's almost give you a sense that, let's say if you've been experiencing a sense of powerlessness through that emotion that was almost hijacking your entire system, it's almost when you do that, you come back online when you do it. Okay, so this is the main idea of you pouring the mug into the sink. It's allowing you to also have a sense of closure. All right, you can even do that whether you've been going through a heartbreak, and any kind of heaviness, a heavy day, or something maybe you felt that you've been carrying with you, that you are not able to release it or leave it there. This is one way. Okay, so you choose the sink for any kind of closure. You can choose the soil or a potted plant if you want to allow it to grow. Okay, so this is where you are practicing the power of choice. What shall I choose to do with this this heavy feeling? But at any point of time, it's not coming from a place that of resentment. We are just practicing a sense of ritual to get a closure about this. No matter how toxic it is, no matter how much it has been eating me inside, this part is just getting you not to continue letting that eat you inside, and preventing you from looking at your life from this lens. Okay, so that's where you use the first cup. We have 2 more cups to go. Now, then what do? Then you get a second cup. All right, so the cup that I have is this one, which for me it says live simple. And this is my self-care. Now, just to give you an idea, I always say each of the cups that I will give you an idea about, it's not that there is a bad cup and a good cup. It's not that. This cup, I call it like the shadow cup. This is the one that can contain the heaviest things. It's got the heaviest of responsibility, right? It's as important and deserves as much of care as this one. Okay, and this one, when you choose your second cup, go with something that feels lighter when you look at it. Don't go with dark colors, intense colors. It's color therapy plays a very big role. Sometimes the cup, it very much depends. I felt very attracted with this because it just reminds me of healing through forgiveness. The green color appeases that heaviness, and then I went into the pink one, the very gentle baby kind of pink. If you're very familiar with chakras, you will see that the heart chakra, it's got 2 colors in it. It's the yellow, not the yellow, it's the pink and the green, which talks about the 2 level of tapping into the facets of love. Okay, so very much you would want maybe to go with something that that represents self-care for you. Okay, so then what you would do next is, now after you've released, there is space. And now we need to nurture that space. We need to nourish that space. Whether you want to go with hydration or you want to go with your favorite tea, don't go with something, especially if you're doing that at the end of the day, all right? Go with something that is less stimulating, okay? Something, maybe a mild tea, a mild drink, something depending upon the weather or depending upon what is it that you need. Go with something soft and warm, maybe, okay? And then when you do that, this is where you now you connect with your five senses. You will see I mention a lot about the five senses exercise throughout the videos whenever I can, because it's the best ways, among the best ways, to get you to ground yourself, to be present in the moment, to savor everything that you're going through in the here and now, rather than letting yourself be pulled into the past or the future. Okay, so then what you would do there, if it's a warm drink or a cool drink, just take a moment to feel that as you're holding it in your hands. Okay, and then you will take a moment to practice the art of savoring. You will sip it very slowly by setting an intention. I fill myself with. So what is it that you want to fill yourself after you've released that heaviness of the day? Is it with rest? Is it calmness? Is it clarity? Just go with what is it, and allow that sip that you're having to be representing that symbolically. This is something that sometimes you can do, where you can share maybe a warm cocoa with your kids. Okay, if they had like a very heavy day, this is where you would do this. You get them there maybe a kind of superhero cup when it comes to the first one, and then it will be about, okay, which one do you want Iron Man to to work with in order to help you release of it? Which emotion do you want to release with that superhero that you want your superhero to take care of? Okay, and then after that is, then you can sit down with your child or anyone that is a loved one, and then you share something together. Then there is a connection, a bonding that happens, where you are now weaving a new memory or new connection with creating space. All right, so that's that. And because the warmth and the sipping as well is going to act like some kind of cues. It's going to cues your body to rest and settle. It's after going through that storm, okay? Since now it's sometimes based upon the intensity of how much you've been bottling. You're going to see that after that you can feel quite tired. It's like you've done a lot of work, even if it was just setting an intention, naming that heaviness, okay, and pouring that, releasing of that. You actually did a lot of mental reframing already, that now your body is catching up with that. Okay, so that's why here, when you give yourself this moment, you're setting a new, as in rest and settle system. Okay, so this is the effect of a warm mug effect, or like a cool cool mug effect. It's reminding or restoring a sense of safety that helps to the warmth or the coolness. It helps to cue the parasympathetic state of safety. Okay, so you're starting to calm down, and then your body is gonna work with. It's the same when you take a sip. You just take a deep breath and just relax, and oh, that feels so good. Or then you have that sip again, and then when you relax, you just let your shoulders drop and let your back relax onto the chair. So now you're starting to relax. Okay, so this is how you are working with that. Now after you've done that, you've just replenished yourself. Okay, now you are recharged. Okay, so what you did is, first you allowed yourself to release. You recharged yourself, and now you are going to move to the refill. All right, so we are returning to the same bottle, and then what you're gonna do, you're going to remove that. Okay, and now you're now going to choose what do you want to fill this bottle with. Okay, so again, you will see that our body, because our brain works a lot with embodied cognition. So there is a video I will definitely ask you to watch, which is about the mirror ritual, which is the same. We go into a psychological explanation, and that will help you. I talk a lot about how does the brain work when it comes to practicing affirmation and things like that, and I talk about embodied cognition. The body needs to participate with the mind so that then it feels we are in it. Okay, so when you work with that, then you will get another paper, and then you shall decide, what do I want to fill that space with now that I've released of it? I've taken my time now to fully recharge, and now I can set an intention. So then you can get another paper, and this is where you can choose to write, maybe get a card and write maybe calm, that we've talked about. Okay, so now it's almost as if you're anchoring that intention into something as a visual cue for yourself. Okay, and then this is something I've found very interesting. You can look into the research of the Japanese scientist Masaru Emoto, who talks about the hidden messages in water. Essentially, it just goes about saying the capacity of water to retain information when we infuse it with intention. This would be my practical understanding whenever I would hear about the word, for example, blessed water, in any sacred institution, when we have all of these very respected person, when they will be the priest, they will be doing all their chants and their prayer, sending the energy through the power of the words, the vibration that came out of it, and the water is just gonna pull that into the cells. Okay, so that's the same thing that you may want to do. You feel so after you've done that, of course, you just rinse it. Okay, and then you're gonna fill it with some clean water, drinkable water, and then whatever it is that you want to fill your space with, whether it's calm, whether it's relaxation, whether it's bliss, whether anything, you write it, and then you just put your water onto it. Okay, so that the word in itself, it's almost entering or being reflected inside of it. Okay, so here, what is it that you're doing is we are now creating a new shift in there. The card that is going to be under the bottle of water, it's going to act like a kind of visual cue, okay, which is going to prime your mind. It's going to prime your mind every time that you're going to look at it. And it's important for you to have one spot that's going to be that place for your water bottle. Okay, it's a little bit like when you create a meditation altar or things like that, so that every time when you look at it, it has got its place there. And just by glancing through, as a matter of habit, you will know this is my water that's there to recharge me. This is just gonna go straight in there. Okay, so that is why is what you will do. You will just leave that, and you will just keep it there and infuse it. Let it like infuse for the night. Okay, and then when are you going to actually have a sip or drink from that water? Then it's going to be in the morning, and this is the fourth step. Okay, so how we look at it, first we've looked about let's say working with the bottle. Okay, and then we've gone into working with the first cup, then we've worked into the second cup. Okay, right, and refilling through. Now we've moved into this step, refilling the bottle, and now we're going to move into the fourth step. Okay, so the fourth step, it's going to be like in the morning, and it's as when you wake up in the morning, you're going to drink from this intention bottle that you've created for yourself. It's almost as if you're taking a sip of kindness, maybe of calmness. And when it's like a small bottle like this, it's easy for you to really drink it, whole of it. Okay, and you set the intention I begin my day with kindness, calmness, happiness, whatever it is that you've written in there, okay? Or sometime when it comes to the third cup, this is an add-on that I've got from a lot of people that work in the corporate. So that's why I added it, and they found this to be very, very helpful. If you're someone who's always on the go go go, it's always ever racing, you always feel that you've got a lot of responsibility and everything like that. They got like a cup like that where they say all I need is you and coffee. So the you is this, okay? And this is what they would get themselves to just place that by the bed, and then they would pour it into it to remind themselves all I need is kindness and coffee. It's relaxation and coffee. So you're almost like balancing this. If you always had a way to go, that's the thing. When we are talking about bringing some changes, it doesn't mean you need to do like a 360-degree change. It's just you bring a single shift that's gonna remind you how you can increase the quality of what you've been doing so that it can support you in your life based upon where you're at. Okay, so this is very much when you are doing that in the morning, it also gives like a fresh start kind of effect. Okay, how am I starting the day? I'm beginning my day with, all right? So essentially, this is it, all right? But sometime when you allow yourself to do it on a long term, you will see how your narratives is going to change. How much you'll be bottling is going to get lesser because you are practicing awareness, self-awareness. Now, when it comes to the extra tip, it's about gratitude journaling, all right? So let's say after when you've done the first step, the second step, so you've emptied the bottle, okay, you've poured it into the cup, and then when you've been filling into the new cup of self-care, right? So this can be a moment in there after you've been sipping and recharging, as you are filling this with intention, then you can sit down next to that bottle and write your gratitude in the evening. That can be that as well. What is it that you're thankful about? So the journaling aspect, the gratitude aspect, I shall leave it to you. When, where, how, in between which step do you believe that this shall be important? And you can even practice that gratitude in the morning as well. It's when you're having a sip of that, what is it that you're grateful about, what you're experiencing? So I have a video which I will hint to you to watch. It's gonna be in the description box below. So it's called a gratitude timing, where I explain to you how can you make the most out of gratitude in a very, very practical manner, which can really help you with your cognitive reframing. Okay, so there are two videos I will definitely invite you to watch. It's the mirror ritual, which explains about why our brain loves mirrors and how we can use this in order to help us to shift our affirmations practice. And then you have the gratitude timing. Okay, so I believe that is all that I had for you today when it comes to the 3-cup methods. So allow yourself to explore and see how you want to work about it. It can really be fun sometime when we do it in group, and then, or when you do it on your own, you shall decide what is it that really works for you. Okay, so I guess that's us, and I was very happy to have you tonight. I hope you're well wherever you are, and I'm going to catch up with you in the next video. Take care.